Welcome to our next 76 Capital Leadership Series, which is now available in podcast form, and we're super excited about that. And we have a great guest today, and really excited to have Zaza Pachulia as our guest. Zaza is someone who played in the NBA for 16 seasons, won 2 NBA championships, and is now a senior consultant to the Golden State Warriors, and is doing some really interesting entrepreneurial things as well. And we're really excited to talk with him about all the things that he's done as an unbelievable NBA player, being in the league for so many years, winning championships, playing on all sorts of different teams, and really excited to hear about all the things that he's done. So what we do on our 76 Capital Leadership Series is really bring on entrepreneurs, athletes, as well as executives within the sports industry. And we're all about finding out what's the next thing that's happening within the sports industry. At 76 Capital, we're all about investing in the entrepreneurs that are passionate, that are smart, that are nice, that want to do really big things and truly change the world. And whether that's changing the world in the sports industry or overall changing the world because of all the things that are happening in our country and around the world today, we want to make sure that we're truly doing the right thing to change the world and make this world a better place for everybody. And you can find out about all the things that we do around 76 Capital on all of the different social networks, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, whether that's at 76 Capital, at 76 Capital, or at 76 Capital on Twitter. And you can find me at Wayne Kimmel across all the different social networks. One of the other things is to be able to find out about all the things that we do, whether it's our podcast, which is on Apple and Stitcher and all the other platforms out there. And you can find out about and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is at 76 Capital as well. So you can learn about all the shows and see all the shows that we do here on our 76 Capital Leadership Series and more. So at this point, I think I'm really excited to bring on our special guest today, Zaza Pachulia. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Wayne. Thanks for having me. I gotta tell you, I've been following your shows, and it's been amazing. I've been enjoying it, and thanks for inviting me.
Well, thank you so much for being on, and thank you to, the team at Priority Sports, Rachel Stein, Ross Arroyo, Mark Bartelstein. Thank you for being able to bring you on to the show, and really excited to talk with you about all the things that you've done as a professional athlete, what you're now doing as an entrepreneur, an investor, and an executive in the NBA. I mean, there's so many things that you've done, and you have an amazing story. And that's one of the things that we love to do here on our 76 Capital Leadership Series is have, accomplished individuals like you share their story, their backstory, where you grew up, and things that have really had an impact on your life to make you truly a leader in what you do. So let's get started. I mean, I'd love to hear, about your story growing up and, outside of the US. So I'd love to, and how you came here.
Yeah, well, I was born and raised in the Republic of Georgia. That's in Eastern Europe. A lot of people confused when I say Georgia. They think Atlanta, Georgia, but actually it's other Georgia, real Georgia, way older. It's the oldest country in the Caucasus region. Only 3.5 million people. And I was, my both parents were athletes. My dad was a wrestler and my mom was a basketball player. And I grew up in an athlete's family where they kind of had a lot of arguments before I picked the sport. What direction should I go? And my mom won the battle. I decided to play basketball. I'm glad I did. I can imagine having 6'11" wrestler. Maybe they exist, but still, I think basketball was the right choice. So yeah, I was born and raised there. I started playing basketball. Education has been priority for my parents. And for that reason, I think education definitely helped me to move to Turkey when I was 14, because I was going to the private school in Tbilisi. There's Turkish Georgian private school, and Turkish national team visited Georgia to play against Georgian national team, talking about senior team. And the staff members and the coaching staff came to our school because we had a lot of Turkish teachers. So it kind of showed the support, and it was to meet the citizens, right? So they saw me. They saw me in the school, tall kid. We had only 120 students, and probably I was the tallest, even though I was yeah, I was in a young age. I was only 13. So they saw me at school. At first, they thought I was a teacher because of my height. But then when they asked me about me, they said, "Yeah, this is our student." They said, he's a basketball player. So I got interviewed. I got interviewed from Turkish national team coaches and staff members. And a week later, I got an invitation from one of the best Turkish teams called Ülker. It's this team based in Istanbul. They've been a EuroLeague team. EuroLeague, people know the EuroLeague is probably best league after NBA, and a lot of exciting players, and competition is a pretty high level. So I joined Ülker Istanbul age of 14. I remember I turned 14 10th of February, and 13th, 3 days later, I was whole family and myself. We flew to Istanbul, and that was beginning of my Turkish career, where I spent 5.5 years. I was actually 2 years later, after I moved to Turkey, I got invited in a professional team. So I was 16 years old when I started playing pro ball for Ülker Istanbul, and that's where we played EuroLeague games, and it was an amazing experience. I think if you look at the career until I came in NBA, everything kind of gradually happened, and I was growing and was learning a lot, and it was good moments. I learned a lot. I was so lucky to have amazing teammates and amazing coaches, where it kind of prepared me for NBA. And I was 19 years old when I got drafted by Orlando Magic in 2003 draft, and it was one of the best drafts I think that we had last 2 decades. With same draft as LeBron and Melo and D Wade and Chris Bosh, and so many exciting, amazing players. And we still have, I think, 3 players still playing. It's LeBron and Kyle Korver and Melo. So I'm really proud to be part of that group.
It was an amazing draft, absolutely, and just incredible. You're being able to go from playing in Turkey and then be able to then come over to the U.S. and think of going back to that. I mean, I know that one of the things that during that time, unfortunately, you lost your dad during that time, and it must have been a heck of a setback as a young man, and trying to be a professional basketball player at the same time. What was that like, and with you and your mom?
Yeah, that was actually toughest moment in my life, and not only for me but for my family, especially having small family, just parents and myself, the only child. And that's especially timing was so bad when we're age of 14, where we just moved in Turkey, and my dad actually stayed with me. My mom came back to Georgia. She was back and forth, and that's the time, I think, when as a young boy was learning so many things, habits and manners from your dad, right? So the timing was really bad. Everything was, I mean, that happened unexpected. We weren't expecting that to happen. It was a shock for us. And as a man, as a leader of the family, we were depending on him so much, even though everything was kind of surrounded around my career and my basketball. I mean, he sacrificed. He left everything in his country, his friends, and his job, and decided to move to Turkey because I was too young. And then moving from 3.5 million country to talking about 80 million country, it's a huge change, and especially back in the 90s, where traveling was not as easy and wasn't as common as now, right? So I needed help, I needed support, I need somebody there. So my dad took that responsibility. So to losing a person like him from the family, it was pretty big hit for all of us. But you know what? One thing now, at the age of 36, looking back, let's say tough moments never last. It's always have something, and that's kind of first, I would say, the biggest tough moments I had in my career, in my life. But I'm a huge fan and believer of saying that every time you fall, you need to get up. And there was a moment where first my mom got up actually because without her, because I was still young, I was only 14, so without her energy and enthusiasm, you say, you know what, we're still gonna go back to Turkey and we're gonna keep fighting. We're gonna continue, just two of us, like and make your dad proud. And those words, and I remember that moment, like it's a very clear picture I have, where her words and how positive she was, and it was a powerful moment for us. And actually, you know what? Next day we were in the airport flying to Turkey, and rest is the history. So I'm pretty sure Adele, from looking from up, and he's proud, and whatever has happened in my life, in my career, he's proud of that.
Well, I think it's a great lesson for everybody. What you were just referring to is this idea of being able to, when you get knocked down, you got to get back up. And whether that's in sports and life and everything, it's a great lesson. And we're really, happy to have you, Zaza, on our 76 Capital Leadership Series. It's great to have you here. And that's something that, you just can't, give even, that's incredible advice for everyone out there. And I would love to talk with, you also about, so you get drafted by the Orlando Magic. You're in the NBA now. What was that feeling like when you came over here and you're there you are, and you're playing for an NBA team?
That was an exciting moment, of course. That was my dream. But that dream kind of became more realistic after I moved to Turkey. I mean, all these sacrifices, if you look at it as a family, leaving the friends, the childhood, because basically moving to a different country, one single person. So it was all about discipline, professionalism, and especially losing my dad. I said, you know what? I lost my childhood. I mean, it was gone. So I was making money already in Turkey. It was only $300 a month, but still, like for the 14-year-old, what else you want, right? So to me, I had amazing circumstances to practice and get better. I had amazing coaches, as I mentioned, and basketball club, Luka, was very supportive. So that's all I needed. And so that dream kind of became very realistic. I kind of felt like I was getting closer and closer to reach my goals and dream to make it true. So especially the last 3 years, from 16 to 19, where I played pro ball, it was amazing. It was amazing. Again, step up and kind of getting better. I was already playing in a men's league and professional league, and I kind of knew what I had to work on. And then I was 19 when I got drafted, so it was an exciting moment. One thing, expectations were for me to be in the first round. And especially back then in 2003, already internet and draft marks and social media, it was existing, right? At some level, not like today, but we still had some experts. So everybody thought I was going to be the first round pick, and then I got drafted in the second round. So again, that moment also helped me to develop, to prove, to people, to prove to myself, to prove to everybody, what, I deserve to be the first round. But who cares? Like, looking back, so many first rounders couldn't even last past the 5 years. And I was so fortunate to play in NBA for 16 years and I think close to 1,100 games and experience the two championships and playing for these really amazing players. So who cares where you draft? It's about the finish line, right? So it's about how you end your career. So again,
absolutely. I mean, it's amazing. You played for the Magic, the Bucks twice, right? The Hawks, the Mavericks, and then as you said, you got to the Golden State Warriors, and and that was when you for your championship run. But going through your career, were there certain players that you looked up to, that you looked to emulate, your game or the way that they played the game, that helped you stay in the league for 16 years?
Great question, Wayne, and thanks for asking me that, because there was a really huge moment in my career, especially in the beginning, right? Rookie year coming in, again, same thing as in Turkey. Didn't know one single person. I only knew my agent, and he was based in New York. So after signing a 2-year deal with Magic, he left. So First, I said, "Where are you going?" I'm 19. Like I have no idea what should I do, and especially during the summer, teams normally on vacation, and it's not. And after summer league, everybody's doing its own thing. So, anyways, season started, and I was so lucky to be part of the Magic, and Doc Rivers was our head coach, and great people. But most importantly, my teammates, and I will definitely mention a couple of names. We had Grant Hill. Unfortunately, he was injured, but at the same time, he had more time actually to mentor and to show us how it should be done right way. And another person actually who definitely teach me the professionalism is Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard, I remember actually again, he was playing power forward back then. It was different game, right? So probably today's game he would play in the center. But Juwan Howard was averaging 30 plus minutes, right? Every single night he was starting. He was one of the best players, top players in the league. And after every game, next day, he would come and lift weights. I said, Juwan, I'm not sure, I was only averaging 11 minutes back then. I was very young and immature, and I had a lot to learn. So I was like, keep asking Juwan, like, aren't you tired? Because then we have game again next day. So don't you rather rest? Because he was, late 20s back then. And he told me this is maintenance. That's how I'm gonna last forever. And looking at his career, it's been amazing until last minute. He definitely performed so well, and that was a great learning lesson for me how lifting weights and spending time in weight room was important. Not necessarily to get stronger, because one thing he told me, you get stronger during the summer, but then during the season, it's about maintaining your strength and maintain your physique and the shape, right? So that was an amazing moment, and I really, when I came in the league, I was 235 pounds, and I finished my career with 275 pounds. So 40 pounds was, most of them were muscle, So just because of Juwan, I mean, that's one example. I'm telling you where I learned from my vets. And next year in Milwaukee, actually, I had Tony Kukoc as a vet. So again, European guy who experienced the championship play with MJ and the amazing Bulls team. And what a better start to have a mentor like Tony, and especially he understood that the challenges I had coming from Europe and overseas, because he went through the same challenges. So I was very lucky, actually.
Well, going on to exactly what you're just saying about having a mentor, having a vet, on the team, that someone that you could really look up to and learn from, do you see that as something that is a way when you're thinking about it now as an executive with the Golden State Warriors, and you look at putting teams together and thinking about like what the makeup of the team should look like? Do you think it's important to have a veteran presence on the team and in the locker room?
No doubt, Wayne. It's one of the most important part, and I would say it's underrated. Like unfortunately, people still don't appreciate it. Not everybody, but I see some teams still don't value the veteran leadership. It's happening in the locker room, because that veteran leadership might win you a game, might save you from some bad news, because again, young guys coming in. I was young too when I came in the league, so again, there's so many things need to be learned, right? So sometimes you learn with saying, sometimes you learn from the actions. I learned from the actions, the story that I told you about Juwan, right? So he didn't tell me. He was doing it, and I just got curious and asked him questions. Then he shared with me, right? So so many privileges and advantages, like to have a good and right vet. So it's not necessarily about playing and scoring 20 points, because that young guy, if you look at the long term, big picture, and if you really like him, if you think that he's going to be part of your team for a long time, he needs to learn from the vets, and you want to make sure. I think we have a good amount of good vets in our league. One of my favorites is Jared Dudley, and I play with Jared. And Again, I wish we had more Jared Dudleys. And another amazing guy who I played with was Sean Livingston, David West, true vets, very professional, very disciplined, smart, understanding. It's not about them, it's about the team, it's about contributing, helping, doing the right things on and off the court. And you know what, with D West, actually, and even with Jared, it wasn't about only talking about basketball. I remember when we played in Milwaukee, that's what bring up a lot of interesting things for Giannis. Giannis was only 18 years old, and that's the night we were all around. I mean, all over the Giannis because he didn't speak good English back then, and we understand how important it was for this kid, for us to help and help not only the basketball side but outside as well, like just a lifestyle. One of the interesting questions I received from Giannis is there any way I don't pay taxes? Like, so think about it. He was only 18, and that's why I value veteran leadership a lot, especially for the young guys.
Well, when you were with the Golden State Warriors at the tail end of your career, when you won the 2 championships, you were one of those veterans on that team. And what was that like, joining the Golden State Warriors at that point in your career and having that, being part of that incredible run where Coach Kerr and you and, Steph, and I mean, the team was unbelievable. I mean, what was it like being on that team?
Yeah, Wayne, so, looking back again, I think all these years, like since I started playing basketball, and I already talked about it, I was 9 years old when I started playing ball, and in Turkey, and got drafted, and having amazing vets, playing different teams. You mentioned, it's Orlando, Milwaukee, Atlanta, then back to Milwaukee and Dallas. I think all these years, been great, right? Amazing. I can tell you so many stories and so many great moments and failures as well, but great moments as well. I think all those years prepared me for the moment to join the Warriors and be part of being the starting center for the Warriors. And it was a long time. That happened in 2017, so I was already 33 years old. So 33 years of work, of mistakes and learning process, and having amazing mentors prepare me that I got called an invitation to join this amazing team where just names you mentioned, right? So KD just signed with them, and we had Clay, and we had Draymond, we had Andre Iguodala. So all these amazing guys, and that team, I'm sure you're gonna be part of the history of NBA and basketball just overall. Like however we're talking about Bulls, however we're talking about the Bad Boys, Pistons, or Showtime, Lakers, Warriors is going to be right there with everything we did on and off the court. So that moment was amazing, unforgettable. Unforgettable moments for not only for me, but for my family, for the whole country. Seeing the picture now with holding the Georgian flag and representing my country and having such an amazing support from my Georgians. This moment is priceless. I wouldn't I can't put any price on that. My keys to being in the locker room after winning the championships and popping bottles, right? It's scary. They're only 8 and 9 years old. Traveling with a team, and Steve would actually let the players bring their family members, and we have 4 kids, and my wife was busy with the girls, obviously, but I was, boys were old enough to travel with me because they could do everything there on its own, right? So I didn't need to focus on them a whole lot, but for them to experience the bus ride, and we would order room service in the hotels and watch the movie or come to the shoot around and learn from Steph and Clay and KD how hard they would work, because one of the best players, and amazing. What else as a parent? What else you can do for your kids? And I'm very thankful for those 2 years and what Steve Kerr and Bob Myers have gave us opportunity as a player, as a man, and as a father.
Absolutely amazing. And that was also the time when it's talk about an amazing small world where you got to meet Joanne Pasternak, who's part of the 76 Capital Sports Advisory business on the social responsibility side, and she was very much involved in the things that you're doing from a community perspective. And as you mentioned, the huge community in Georgia that just looked at the championship as if it was theirs as much as it was yours and the Golden State Warriors, right? I mean, it was an amazing thing for the whole country.
Yeah, I mean, of course, those people like Joanne back then, and again, every department now, I'm more familiar with those guys because I joined the Warriors on the basketball and business operations as a consultant, and I got to know those guys from closer. Hundreds of people behind the scenes, where everybody knows Steph and Clay, and of course, but those guys are true heroes, and the amount of work they put is mind-blowing. Sometimes I would say I can't keep up with you guys, all these meetings and brainstorming, how to help our organization, our brand, our players, right? Marketing team, what can be done, for our players, for them to look good, for the fans, for the, basketball world, or community people, where it's not about basketball, how we can help our communities, right? So even Raymond Reader, where when it comes to the media, and make sure they're not exhausted with all these interviews, and make sure they're talking about the right people and about right topics, and balanced out basketball. But we all understand this all needed. You need to have do the interviews, and take pictures with the fans and around. So, and also the corporate partnership team, bring the right partners, and fans to be experiencing amazing moments at our arena and cheering for the team. So it's a team effort. I'm telling you, yes, it's 15 guys on the court, but behind that, oh my goodness, amazing people. And that's what makes Warriors special. All these guys that I mentioned, and even more, done a great job of representing the brand and franchise.
So now, as in the front office at the Golden State Warriors, what are some of the responsibilities and things that you do on a daily basis now?
Good question, Wayne. So I know I talked about it before. The last year was a really great opportunity for me to learn and see this business from different sides. And like I say, a lot of different departments out there. I forgot to mention tickets, because the ticket sales for the Warriors is one of the most successful part, and our fans been amazing supporting the team. Even when they were not as good, playing against the Warriors, I say, how come this team, like, they're losing and they still get the support? It's amazing. Like, it tells you the ticket people has been doing a great job, and especially now they've been selling out every single game. Well, while games were happening, okay, not today, but so I spent a lot of time with different departments, and I really want to learn what this business is about, because they're all depending on each other. They all need each other, and spending time with the departments was eye-opening to me, understanding the business, learning this business. So, and I did scouting. I did. I spent time with corporate partners. I even did TV. You'll be surprised. Only twice a month. Even with my English, I thought that was impossible. But it's 2020, man. Who cares? Go out there and talk about the basketball. And it's something I think I know. And as far as I delivered the right message, and that was fun to spend time with Greg Papa and Gary St. Jean. I mentioned scouting. I spent a lot of time, with drafts, and scouting those potential draft players and free agency. Business side, I've been on the executive meetings. I've been in leadership meetings, and it's been fun. It's been fun experience. But same time, also I was going to Stanford, took the classes for sports and management and negotiations, and It was amazing time to learn from George Foster, who's a professor in Stanford, really well respected and well connected. So busy year for, for me, Wayne. Very busy year, but it's been great if you don't count this pandemic and COVID, how it affected, especially our business, But hopefully, we're gonna get back soon on track, and we all miss watching the games live. I know millions of people, can't wait to go back to arenas and stadiums.
That's awesome. And again, we're so lucky to have Zaza Pachulia as our special guest on our 76 Capital Leadership Series. And we've talked about his growing up in Georgia, playing in Turkey, being drafted in the NBA, playing 16 seasons in the NBA, winning 2 championships, now as an executive with the Golden State Warriors. So what else do you have time for? You have 4 kids, your wife, but you're also involved in different kinds of businesses as well, I understand.
Yeah, a lot going on. Kids again. Retire. One of the beauty of the retirement is spending more time with the kids. So especially the first couple of months, we were like, I never experienced this. So I've been married for 12 years now, and we have 4 kids, as you mentioned. The oldest one is 11, 10 boys, and then girls are 8 and 2. So this is the most time I spent with my family, like in total, literally, So this is great, especially boys are in such an age, they're playing basketball. I think we need each other, so, being around them is amazing. Seeing them learning and growing every single day, learning something new, uh, you know, is one of the happiest moments of me. But also, same time, like Juwan did for me, I think it's same thing goes with the kids. Not necessarily you always need to tell them what to do. So sometimes you have to show them how to do it, and for them to see at the age of 36, I'm still taking classes in Stanford. Before pandemic, I was going there personally. I would wake up very early, 6 in the morning, and when they would wake up for the school, I was on my way there actually. So they would see me leaving house, and they would ask me in the first couple of weeks. They were like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to school." School? You 36? I say, well, learning never stops. It's always you always miss something. I don't care how experienced you are. I don't care how successful you are. You can always add something in your knowledge or in your experience. So that was a great way. Actually, that would motivate me to show my kids that, yeah, I'm 36. I have, pretty good run in NBA, but who cares? Like, there's so many more things I can learn and get better at. So, and then I was doing it online, the same thing. For hours I would be in my office. Dad, what are you doing? I said, I have a class, and so I'm not any different than you guys. And so it's been great to spend time with family overall, Wayne, and it's very important, as I say. The businesses too. This COVID actually made adjust some things and look at the things differently. I have more time to reading a lot and seeing what's next, what's coming. Some things get old, some things needs to update, some things are new. Especially AI, it's such a hot topic now, and so investment wise, I've been active in investing in different things, and again, as a competitor, yeah, of course you invest to make more money, but at the same time, it's a competition. It makes you feel like you're playing basketball game. So you keep competing against the others, and you're trying to bring the best for the company, and you're trying to make the best decisions as possible. Do your due diligence, and find out the industry and what's the market value of that, and kind of when you draw the parallel from basketball to the business, it's so many similarities. So that's why I've been enjoying a lot investing.
That's really great to hear. It's one of the things at 76 Capital we talk about all the time. Really how the world of sports and the world of business are so close to each other, and a lot of the same traits and qualities that you need to be successful on the basketball court, whether that's the desire, the drive, the overall persistence, as you said earlier, being able to when you get knocked down to get back up. I mean, it's those same kind of things in that happen in the business world that happen in the sports world, and that's one of the reasons why we think it's so important that we have some athletes and some other people that are real hardcore competitors as part of a lot of the businesses that we invest in. And I think you've been involved with a company called Shoot 360. Is that one of the companies that you're involved with?
Yeah, that's one of the latest investments I've done. Shoot 360. It's an amazing product. The founders came out with Craig Moody, and he's done a great job. Right now, we have 6 locations in U.S., and this company is growing very fast. And you know what? Kids loving it. Not only kids, but even for myself as a retired, I thought I would never play basketball after retirement, but I've been going to the Shoot 360 facilities. Actually, we have 2 in Bay Area, so I've been going there and getting shots up. And especially that what the Shoot 360 provides when it comes to data, when you can track, the arc, the depth of the ball, and how much you're missing. Are you missing left or right? So it's a cage. You isolate it. You can put your phone, say, listen to the music, and it provides a lot of data that's important right now. Especially, I learned a lot from Steph and from Dirk and from Clay, the best shooters in the world in the history, and also what we're seeing on the screen right now. It's about dribbling and passing cages as well. It's so interactive and it's technology involved, and I've been loving it going there, and my kids are obsessed. They literally spend every day in Shoot 360. So I'm very excited for this product and for the future of the Shoot 360. And basketball is a global sport, and I'm pretty sure very soon we're going to see Shoot 360 facilities all over the world.
Yeah, well, and I wouldn't doubt it with your track record and things that you've done in your life that we're going to see Shoot 360s all over the place. Look, they really look amazing. It looks like a lot of fun. I want to go out there and start shooting. So that's amazing. Are there any other things that you're working on now that you want to share with us? That's some different types of businesses or other types of projects that you're working on?
Yeah, I mean, this pandemic, obviously, as I mentioned before, did change a lot of things, and I feel one of the things actually becoming more popular and needed for today's reality is AI, artificial intelligence, and I'm looking at that a lot. And actually, I invested in a company called Pulsar. The company was born in Georgia, actually in my country, but now the headquarters is here in San Francisco in the Bay Area. So they moved here. So I invested in that company too. I think that's the future. And looking at the services they provide and how much easier it makes for the companies, and it helps the companies to increase the revenue and be more efficient, right? And save expenses at the same time. And the numbers showing it's been an incredible tool for the company. So again, a lot of interesting things, but end of the day, it's all about who you know. I'm new on this industry. A lot to go for me to learn, but it's important that the people you know and people you can learn from, like mentors. We talk about mentors, right? As a teammates or as a coaches I had. And same thing goes on this side too. Who you learning from? The people that you know. So it's been amazing. That's why one of the motivations for me to move to Bay Area after retirement, join the Warriors, because I had 2 amazing years here. Fans, I have a great relationship with fans, and I built a really good relationship off the court too. So as a foreigner, I'm lucky to have good friends in Bay Area, and we've been loving it.
Well, it sounds like you're off to a great start after your career, and playing in the NBA. And we've been really lucky to have, Zaza Pachulia on our 76 Capital Leadership Series, learning about all the things that he's done in his career, coming over from Georgia, playing, in Turkey, 16 years in the NBA, 2 championships with the Golden State Warriors. Now with the Golden State Warriors, doing things in the business world, being an entrepreneur, learning all the time, being a great dad to 4 kids and a husband, and just all the things that you're doing. I wish you a ton of luck. And you can follow Zaza at Zaza27 on Twitter, and you should check out all the things that he's doing, because I think you're going to be doing some really big things, even bigger things in the future. And I've really enjoyed having you. I really appreciate you joining our show, Zaza.
Thanks for having me again, Wayne. I really appreciate it. It was fun to talk to you. But at the same time, I want to encourage you doing amazing things. I became a fan, to be honest, because again, it's all about learning. So you getting an amazing guest, and for them to share their story and their success story, their failures, their vision, their goals. It's been a learning experience for me as well. So keep doing what you're doing. I'm following you. I'm a fan. Thank you, Wayne.
Well, thank you, and keep doing all the great things that you're doing. And again, thank you to Rachel and Ross from Priority Sports, Mark Bartelstein's group, and keep doing all the great things that you're doing, Zaza. And if you are interested in all the things that we're doing at 76 Capital, again, you can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel to see all of our leadership series shows, and also go onto your favorite podcast provider, and you can listen to all these shows on podcasts on the podcast side as well. Again, Zaza, thank you, and everyone have a great day.